And with the first pick of the third round, balikan natin si Commissioner Chito Nervasa.
Number 1, third round draft pick comes to Blackwater, and they select Json Milano.
Json Milano will be the first pick of the third round.
Again, for Blackwater, is trying to get the necessary materials for them to rebuild or build up the right way. There's nothing to rebuild from this team because they're coming in as an expansion team. So what they're trying to get right now are guys whom they can think can help their team in the long run.
This deep in the draft, mas gusto mo bang mapunta sa mga team na nagbe-build pa lang ng kanilang rotation dahil malamang mabigyan ng pagkakataon?
Well, kung ako man ang player, if I know I'm a borderline player, I have a chance of making, the teams that are trying to build up. And I think that if I given a chance, if I can go 1 or 2 years with them, and I can prove themselves, and I can prove myself, other teams will look at me.
Well, the most important thing really for a basketball player is playing time. The opportunities will not be there if you are in a team that has solid players ahead of you. But if you are playing for a team like Blackwater or a Mahindra, na yung chance mong maglaro mas malaki kaysa kung maglaro ka sa ibang kupunan, all you need to do really is just show your wares and play good basketball and you will last in the PBA.
And at this point, balikan natin si Miss Apple.
Jason, alam ko kanina mo pa hinihintay matawag yung pangalan mo, pero ngayon, na natawag ka na for Blackwater, anong pakiramdam?
Masaya po kasi hindi ko ina-expect na kuhanin ako kasi parang hindi ako masyadong familiar sa mga school. Kaya nagulat din ako. Thank you sa Blackwater.
Alright, congratulations. Balik sa iyo, Commissioner Chito.
Number 2, third round draft pick belongs to Mahindra Enforcers, and they select Leo Daniel De Vera.
And the Mahindra Enforcers go for Leo De Vera for the 24th overall pick.
Looks like another big guard or small forward for them, And Philam ito, Another guy that we're not really familiar with. San Sebastian.
But he did come on from the USA. Dito nga yung binabanggit mo, Coach RG. Yung borderline players, dun sa draft combine, kailangan gumawa ng pangalan para maalala ka ng mga coach.
Well, I've actually seen this guy play. This guy who is so familiar shooting from the outside. Very hard-working player. I just did not...
Recognize him right away,
because of that cape. Pero I've seen him play with the San Sebastian Stags. And very, very athletic guy. And the hustle is always there. He will dive for those loose balls.
So yan nga po, 24 picks already in the books para sa ating 2015 draft, Doc.
Well, they have more chances of making the team than if they were picked by Raynor Shrine or San Miguel or Meralco. By the way, di ba, last year you did a lot of the NCAA, so you're familiar with this
Yes,
guy.
hindi lang nag-register kaagad. Pero nung nakita ko na San Sebastian pala siya. At kasi pag naglalaro, walang sombrero eh.
Next time, mag-sombrero kayo pag naglalaro para makilala kayo ni Coach RG. Siya pa ay kasama ni Miss Apple.
Leo, to those who are not very familiar about you, can you give us a quick description of how you work inside and outside the court?
Just hustling, rebounding basically defensively. I try to be a smart player, of course. Plus, I play on an outside wing, so I'm much more like a stretch four and a wingman. And I want to thank Kia for drafting me, of course, and all my family watching right now. It's a Lord's blessing, talaga. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Leo. Commissioner Chito.
For the number 3, third round draft pick, the NLEX Road Warriors select Jansen Rios.
Json Rios will be joining the camp of the NLEX Road Warriors.
It's another guy from Adamson. Kasabay ni Torrellano. Actually, they're the 2 best players on their team last year. So that means both of them are not coming back to the school this year. Rios is also a good scorer. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor, can shoot outside. Sometimes he's not that strong a defender, but he has the height. So this guy is a positive player, but I think you have to give him 1 or 2 more years to grow before he can really help a team. But he already has the ability. kasama pare-pareho yan, si Torrellano, si Jericho Cruz. They're the same type of players and they play with a lot of fervor as far as their offense is concerned.
Well, it is important, especially when you play for NLEX, is that you have a good shooting from the three-point area. Dahil yung space kasi talaga na kailangan ni Asi, in order for him to be effective, he must be surrounded by accurate shooters from the three. So kung meron itong player na ito, magkakaroon siya ng tsansa at pwesto para rito sa NLEX.
So another guy from Adamson, alam natin yung kultura, no? Pagkaling Adamson, yung hard work, nandun na sigurado. Siya po ay kasama ni Mesap.
Jansen, alam ko hindi ka nakatulog sa kagabi in anticipation for this day. Pero ngayon, na na-draft ka na, ano na ba yung nararamdaman mo?
Sobrang blessed, tsaka sobrang thankful talaga ako kasi yun nga, na-draft ako, tapos nakakatuwa talaga.
Ano ba yung pinaka nilulook forward mo na ngayon maglalaro ka na sa PBA?
Siguro talaga focus lang tsaka work hard para sa PBA talaga, sa step na yun.
Alright, congratulations, Jansen. Commissioner Chito.
With the number 4 third-round draft pick, Global Port Batang Pier selects Roi Sumang.
And you hear the ovation from the thousands inside the Robinsons in Manila. Roi Sumang has been drafted by the Batang Pier.
It's long time coming for this guy, a projected first-round pick. He definitely has a lot of followers here in Robinson's Place, Ermita. And at third round, this is definitely going to be a big steal for Global Port.
Alam mo, he's also from Tondo, you know. He's grown up there and became big. Alam, the only problem with him, last year he was not consistent at all. And there's, you know, Coach Derek was there for the first time. So, you know, different rules under different coaches. So, but Roy is a player, believe me. I've seen him for 2 years, work with him. He is a player. And, you know, I remember last year he had 33 points against Ateneo. Kiefer had 36. Nag-single silang one-on-one until overtime. He's a player that can do anything. Shoot the three-point shot, make outside shots, pass the ball. He's not a big defender because he's only 5'8". Yan lang ang problema niya. But he's not an easy guy to get by you.
The biggest challenge really for Coach Pedro Horencio is that there is only one ball that they must play for. So if it's Terence Romeo, kailangan itong si Roi Sumang must be able to play off the ball every now and then.
Ang pinakamagandang bagay, by the way, ito po yung unang beses naka-draft yung Global Port because they didn't have ticks in the first 2 rounds. If you're drafted in the 3rd round, you should take it as a slight. You should use it as fuel to your fire, add fuel to your fire, para to make you work even harder.
I want to make the team. And actually, Global is one of the teams that really built up in the off-season for a possible good season this 2015-2016. And adding that player will help them. Will help them, believe me.
And Sideburn Sumang is now with Miss Apple.
Roy, narinig mo naman yung cheer ng crowd nung tinawag yung pangalan mo. Medyo natagalan, but better late than never.
Sa akin, okay lang naman kahit anong round ako na pick. Basta gagawin ko yung better ko para sa team. And thank you sa mga coaches para sa opportunity na binigay nila sa akin.
Ngayon, makakalaro mo Terence Romeo. Dati, nakalaban mo sa UAAP. Sa tingin mo, magkiklik ba kayo?
For me, sa akin, okay naman ako kay Terence. So, meron naman kaming nung UAP pa lang, mas close na kami. Sana ngayon maging mas close ulit kami.
Sige, aabangan natin yan. Balik tayo. Kila Magu. To Commissioner Chito Narvasa.
With the number 5 third-round draft pick, the Barako Bull Energy selects Yutien Andrada.
So another one of those big men coming into this draft. Hindi siya ganun ka-highly regarded this season dahil he's coming off battling injuries.
Well, he got hurt. And that's the reason why he did not play in the UAAP season. But he's part of the rotation of Coach Junior Soler. He's a guy who can get a lot of rebounds, especially off the ball, and will also defend. Probably a much better guy in the PBA to play off the ball defense and on the ball because of his lack of heft. But definitely he's got good timing and is very hard working every time he steps inside the court.
I don't think any archer would have anything bad to say about this guy. They love him, you know, because he just works. And he complements everybody. He doesn't never think of making a big name, but he is a guy that defends well, block shots. He can score underneath the basket very well, and he likes to move without the ball. He's also a very good rebounder, so he can help. Good for you, Houston.
Standing with Rico Meyer Hopper there, pwede. If he cracks the lineup, pwede magkasampayan brigade itong Morocco.
Pareho halos ng molde yung magkabilang player na iyan eh. Dahil with Rico Mayo-Hoffer first donned the Pure Foods uniform, ganun lang rin yung kanyang binibigay. A lot of athletic defensive style and pati yung kanyang perimeter jumper pumasok. At yung combination na ito, pag mabigyan ng opportunity, magandang front line to for Coach Coy Banat.
So it was basically a question of how healthy Youth was. That's why we see him in the third round here. Siya po ay kasama ni Miss Apple.
Yes, nabanggit yun na Yuten, galing ka sa ACL injury 2 years ago, pero ngayon, gaano ka ba ka-ready or ka-healthy for this PBA?
Sobrang ready na ako to play for PBA. Kasi kahit nakagaling ko lang sa injury, talagang pinagandaan ko to na makapaglaro sa PBA. And ready na ako to play.
Alright, we're all excited to see you play. Balik sa'yo, Commissioner Chito.
The number 6 third round draft pick, Barangay Ginebra, selects Lee Villamor.
So Lee Villamor will be working to crack that lineup of Coach Tim Cone.
Well, as a 28th pick of Barangay Ginebra, he's also a mainstay of National University. And he is 6'4", and he plays the forward position. So he's probably a small forward, might be a little undersized, Doc, to play the power forward position. But again, if you play alongside a Greg Slaughter and you want to be part of that 5 inside, you must be able to shoot from the perimeter. If he has it, then he can have a roster spot locked in for him.
He's not the big name of the other guys in NU that were there last year, but he made big shots when it counted. He can shoot the three-point shot from the corners very, very well. Not a real guy that really puts the ball on the floor, but he's big enough to be able to defend against people in the wings. He was a good second stringer of the team that they had last year.
May balikbayan dun sa stage, oh. Maimbita ba natin si Coach Richard dito? Sakaling dalang tayo ng pasalubong, ano? At patuloy nga po ang ating pagdudok sa mga kaganapan. Dito po sa Robinson's Place, nandito tayo sa ground floor sa Miss Starbucks. Puntahan muna natin si Miss Apple.
Dennis Villamor, the latest pick of Barangay Ginebra. Dennis, ano ba ang pakiramdam mo na of all teams, Ginebra pa ang nakakuha sa'yo?
Sa akin, sobrang saya. Yung blessings na dumating sa akin na siyempre, alam naman natin pag Ginebra yung crowd. Sobrang blessed. Nagpapasalamat ako sa Ginebra team, sa family ko, sa NU family, RTU family, Jumbo Plastic family.
Alright, thank you very much, Dennis. Magu?
Thank you, Miss Apple. Magpapatuloy po ang ating 2015 PBA Rookie Draft live on TV5 sa aming pagbabalik.
For the number 7 third round draft pick, Morocco Bolts select Joseph Sedurifa.
And the Morocco Bulls trying to keep all options open. They want everybody battling for those slots.
And what is nice about players like Joseph Sedurifa is he will get an opportunity to practice with the Bolts. And sometimes situations like that will not be open for guys who are not drafted. So he has to look at it on the positive note. Yes, he was drafted at number 3 at third round, 29th pick. But who knows, there has been a lot of stories and the heroic stories historically dito sa PBA, and he might just be one of them.
Well, Cebuano yan, and look at his size, 6'1". You know, Meralco, whatever you say, even though they picked Baser Ramer and they have Jimmy Alapan, kulang pa rin ang point guard yan eh. You know, the others are just going to be makeshift. Like maybe Newsom, you can ask him to bring the ball down from time to time, but he's not a natural. And that's the reason why I think they continue to draft in the guard position.
Laking bagay na binanggit mo nga, no? This guy comes from Cebu. Alam naman natin yung Cebu brand of basketball quality yan.
Matitigas yan at alam mo naman tayo rito, kanin, sila mais. Kaya malakas ang mga katawan yan.
And their guards have really proven to be some of the top players in the PBA from time immemorial, from the beginning.
Si Joseph po ay kasama ni Miss Apple.
Joseph, dinraft ka ng Meralco. Ano ba sa tingin mo yung meron ka o ano ba yung nakita nila sa'yo kaya naman pinili ka nila?
First, I'm blessed. Thanks. Nagpapasalamat ako kay God. Binigyan niya ako ng opportunity. And sa tingin ko yung nakita nila sa akin yung defense ko po and hard work.
All right, thank you very much, Joseph. Commissioner Chito.
For the number 8 third round draft pick, the Star Hotshots select Mark Cruz.
There you go. The 5'5" Spitfire guard out of the Colegio de San Juan Letran is now going to be joining the Star Hotshots.
Very late in the third round, 30th pick overall. Some of the other teams might probably scared because he's not that tall. Ito lang siguro isang manlalaro rito that I can see eye to eye. Dahil maliit din eh. Pero
Taas ka pa dyan.
kita
Pero
kitang-kita.
you know what I like about this guy? This guy lives for the moments.
Oh,
Gusto niya
yes.
nasa kanya ang bola importanteng tira.
Well, he is the best player in the roster of Letran this year, and I'm not gonna be surprised kung itong player na ito will be in the conversation for most valuable player.
Well, alam mo, even in the NBA, just because you're small doesn't mean anything. You ask Isaiah Thomas, people think he was the best player, the best point guard in the universe. So he was just below 6, or even an Allen Iverson. But you know, here we're afraid to draft a small guy, but this guy has heart. He will make big shots. There's no question about that, and he will not back down from anybody. So a good pick for them, just in case that they needed an extra player.
And there are small guys that have been making waves in your PBA. Guys like Eman Monfort and the like. Alam naman natin, ano? Talaga nga, nagiging impact players sila. Tignan natin ano masasabi ni Mark sa panayam sa kanya ni Miss Apple.
I am with the reigning three-point king ng NCAA, Mark Cruz. Mark, are you ready to prove sa PBA na kahit maliit, nakahapuing din?
Yes, I'll do everything naman para mapatunayan yun. Basta hard work lang lagi and pray kay God.
Sige, aabangan namin yan sa PBA, Commissioner Chito.
The number 9 third round draft pick, Talking Text, Tropang Texters select Nicole Sorella.
So Talk and Dex will be trying out etong si Sorella. 31st overall pick for 2015.
Well, this is Stock and Tech's only pick after being able to get the first pick from Sambeda. 6'5", another big guy. So he plays the center slot. Obviously, with the exit of Jay Washington, they would like to, and probably maybe in a year or two, some of their other guys there in the big lineup. So they certainly want to be able to have some options to stack up on some big players.
Well, it's important for Talk and Text to get big guys right now because that has been the trend in the PBA. All the successful teams, especially San Miguel, meron silang isang mataas na manlalaro na hindi mo mahinto. So that is how the game is being played right now in this league. Kaya kung medyo mataas ka at lumalaban ka, magkakaroon ka ng bentahe dito sa ating liga.
Magkakaroon ka na rin ng pagkakataong ma-interview ni Apple.
Our 31st overall pick, Nicole Sorella. Michael, nung tinawag yung pangalan mo, nakita ko nagbigla ka. Ano bang biglang pumasok sa isip mo?
Hindi ko talaga kasi in-expect na kukunin ako ng Talk and Text. And I feel so blessed talaga and masaya. And of course, may halong kaba. Ayun. Thank you po. Thank you.
Alright, Michael, good luck sa PBA. Commissioner Chito.
For the number 10 third round draft pick, San Miguel Beermen select Michael Mabula.
And this is the first time the San Miguel Beermen are selecting here in 2015, and they go for Michael Mabula.
You should be familiar with him. He's with Jose Rizal last year, and he's a center, 6'3 and a half, 6'4", banger, malakas kumuha ng bola, can score underneath the basket. I remember him. He was a pretty good player for Coach Berhel Meneses and very steady. I keep on asking, ano bang height niya? But he's only really 6'4". Kung mga 6'5", 6'6", maybe they would have picked him earlier. But he's a banger and he's a good player underneath the basket.
Quality minutes, that is what San Miguel requires right now for a new player. Their team will be good at least in the next 2 years. And if they can mold this Michael Mabulak into a player who can give in the nice numbers in terms of positives every time he steps in, that will be a very good draft pick for San Miguel.
But of course, because the Beermen won 2 of the 3 championships last season, we do expect that lineup to remain intact. This kid's going to have to work his tail off to crack the rotation.
Well, at least he can be a practice player until such time that he can really make a barge in. Or if they have any injuries to some of the power forwards, he's not a center, he's a power forward.
So for the third round, the 32nd overall pick is Michael Mbuna para dito sa San Miguel Beermen. And we expect him to really try to really make a name for himself over at that camp.
Well, what is a challenge to the rest of the other teams is how they can stop a rampaging San Miguel crew. Dahil 2 out of the 3 conferences they were able to win. Ngayon, they picked in the late third round, but yet they are a very solid roster. At yung mga ibang teams na nagre-rebuild, ang gusto nila is to match up the yardstick in the next season will still be San Miguel.
Balikan po natin si Mr. David.
Michael, alam mo ba na ikaw ang kauna-unahang draft pick ng San Miguel Beer dito sa rookie draft? Sa tingin mo, blessing in disguise ba to?
Oo, at saka sa totoo di talaga makapaniwala na kukunin din ako ng San Miguel at may kukuha sa akin.
Dito naman tayo sa head coach mo, Coach Leo Austria. Coach, ano ba sa tingin mo yung madadala ni Michael dito sa San Miguel at kinuha niyo siya?
I think after the first 2 rounds, he's the best available talent. And then kita ko siya maglaro sa JRU. One of the big man of JRU, very consistent. But in the PBA, I think he will be a good number 3.
All right, thank you very much and congratulations, Michael. Good luck to San Miguel, Commissioner Chita.
For the number 11, third round draft pick, the Alaska Aces select Juan Nicolas Elorde.
Nico Elorde has been chosen here by the Alaska Aces with a 33rd overall pick.
Again, coming from a good basketball program, is a mainstay of the Ateneo Blue Eagles, won a championship also for that team late third round. But what is so positive about this development for Nico is he's coming in a very disciplined organization at mabibigyan ng chance ang makalaro itong batang ito.
He has a chance to crack that team, Nico is a good player. He's a very tough defender. He knows how to pass the ball. He can make shots. He is a good free throw shooter. And he has a lot of championship experience. I think he was a member of 3 of the 5 peak that they had. So definitely good stock and good for you, Nico.
And Nico is making his way over to Miss Apple David right beside that stage. Tandaan po natin na pagkatapos na itong draft, ang Sports 360 ay may napaka-espesyal na edisyon coming to you live mula dito rin sa Robinson's Place in Enriqueta. Miss Apple is ready.
Nico, nakita ko kanina, kinakabahan ka na hindi pa natatawag yung pangalan mo. Pero nung sinabi na ikaw ang pinik ng Alaska, ano na yung pumasok sa isip mo?
So, unang-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay God kasi yun nga, ito talaga yung pangarap ko na makarating dito. And yun, gagawin ko lang talaga yung best ko na yun, masign and yun lang.
Congratulations, Nico, and good luck, Magu!
Thank you, Miss Apple. At patuloy nga po ang ating pagtutok sa lahat ng kaganapan. Ay, mula dito sa Robinson's Place in Manila sa aming pagbabalik.